do.
Okay, well, the mic.
I don't know.
Just use the mic from the camera. I mean, from the laptop.
Okay, I need. Can you check and see if this is working?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I don't know. I'm turning off the music. Ooh. Are we here? I don't know. I can't tell. I can't tell. Oh, okay. Okay, so it's going live at 12:05 right here. So.
Oh, okay. So it's not live yet.
Right. So how can I connect a microphone to, or just have to use the in?
You can probably connect your Bluetooth headphone, your earbuds to that.
There, it doesn't show up. It's not showing up.
Let's add them.
They're not showing up as an option.
I know, you have to add it.
Oh, you mean my ear? Not this. Not
yeah, this isn't going to show up.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll turn off this. Okay. I'm hoping. Tom, do you mind just watching and just make sure I'm on all the platforms? Is that okay? Okay. Are we on? I'm just going to check. I'm going to check all. I don't even know. Oh, wait. I am on. Okay.
On YouTube?
I'm on. It's got some weird, horrible looking frame. Oh, here we go. I don't know why. It just. That's incredibly weird. Wait, no, I want to do. Why can't I change this?
Facebook.
What?
You're live on Facebook on this.
Yeah, I'm live on Facebook. I'm live. Can you check Instagram and YouTube, please? Thank you so much.
You're on my camera on Facebook.
Now, where did my phone go? Oh dear. Oh yeah. Okay.
I would say.
Hi guys.
I would sit here. You're live on.
Okay, cool. But I have to hold it like. Maybe if there's something this could sit on, if you can figure out anything. I cannot read any comments. I don't know why this frame is so horrible looking, but I'm going to do my best to keep up with y'all. I'm looking at, this is the camera. So I think.
Deep breath.
Yeah.
This camera is going out.
It looks like it's this one.
Let me check this.
Yeah, I just, okay. Welcome.
Oh, no, you're right.
Welcome, everybody. I'm just hoping that you can hear me. I can't actually read the comments or anything. This is going to be pretty awkward because I'm going to be.
Well, the comments are showing up there.
Okay. Thank you. I do see the comments. Thank you, Isadora, Danielle. Love y'all. Thanks for being here. Okay. What I'm going to need to do is read from my phone while I talk into my computer, but that's fine. I think that we're merging all of y'all's comments from Instagram, Facebook, and thank you, Bob. Thank you so much. Okay, cool. Awesome. This is so much better. Oh my God. Okay. So happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Do you know if there's any way I can do this different? This frame looks so terrible. I don't know how to change it. Oh, well.
That's because of Instagram. It's a...
okay. So I apologize for the weird framing. Obviously, yeah, we're on the struggle bus here a little bit, but I think we're okay. Thank you, Sarah. She says we see you. Can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me? I haven't necessarily seen whether people can hear me or not. I'm just going to make sure that I'm live on all of the platforms, Facebook, and Instagram, and whoops, why won't it let me? I just want to make sure. Oh, we can't. Okay. Thank you so much, Trisha. God bless you. Thank you. That is awesome. Yeah, I have no idea if this is working on Instagram or not. Maybe not. It says it's added, but if not, we'll just do it better next time. I do want to just tell y'all a couple of things about the reading. It's going to be a really short reading, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. It's from the earlier part of the book, one of the early chapters in the book, and then followed by a live Q&A. And you're welcome to ask me anything, although I do retain my veto power. I'm going to retain my veto power. Bob, can I just ask a programming question?
Yeah.
Are we recording on that camera?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I'm just making sure that we have, yeah.
But we don't have sound for it.
Oh, okay.
Well, you have to wear the mic.
Okay, well, I'll just do a screen recording if need be. And actually, this live is going to
wear the mic. You can.
Well, no, I'm just going to go with this because this is, yeah. So we're, so as long as sound is okay, then yeah, I have to, because otherwise I can't be heard, Bob. I'm sorry. So a few notes about the book itself. And many of you know that it is called The Unrelenting Shitshow of My Love Life. And it also has a subtitle. And the subtitle is From Good Girl to Crazy Ex to Other Women. And I hope some of y'all can find yourselves in that subtitle. I know you can. So, and I definitely intended to be provocative with the title and to invite in as many of y'all, of us, as possible. And the release date of the book is going to be September the 3rd of 2024. So I'm way out in front of the release date, but that's the right way of doing things. I did it all the wrong way last time with Tao of Hoop, even though I'm very proud of the book, but I did everything kind of in the wrong order. And so now I'm trying to do things in the right order. So letting y'all know way ahead of time, the release date, September 3rd. I am going to do a book tour in September and October. I am going to go cross country again. I'm actively seeking some alternative businesses. I'm going to work with bookstores again, but I would love to work with other kinds of businesses. If y'all have any ideas, any kind of suggestions, I'd love to hear them. You know, I'm thinking queer spaces, community spaces, even like women owned or lesbian owned or queer owned sex stores, or, you know, even something I haven't thought of, you know, who knows, some kind of funky, I don't know, some dispensary or something out west. Well, you know, just whatever y'all's ideas are, please type them in the chat. And I think I should be able to, thank you, Christine. Thank you. Thank y'all for letting me know I'm on track. I will be able to check on my phone here periodically. I'm going to have to kind of bop from thing to thing a little bit. One more note, or a couple more notes about the book to stay up to date very directly with everything that's happening. Hop onto my mailing list at my website, which is annhumphreys.org. And you just very easily, you can just enter your email. I don't spam. I don't send a whole lot of newsletters, but I will be sending newsletters about the book and the release and the book tour and all that stuff. Also, if you haven't followed me on TikTok, I do have a TikTok account. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to have a conversation, start a conversation and have a conversation, participate about some of these themes that my book talks about. And if you want to join in that conversation or just watch it happening, go on over to TikTok, and I'm at Ann of Line and Circle. So ANNOF line and circle. So that's TikTok. And then also, many of you know that a couple times a week here in the Flow Kitchen, Baxter teaches hoop classes, and I'm usually present for most of those. And if you just, you know, if you feel like hooping, if you feel like moving, just hearing some really good music and some banter, tune in every Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, and or Saturdays at noon Eastern Standard Time. And we just have a lot of fun. The next class on Saturday is going to be a hip hop class, and it's going to be a blast. So join us for any and all of those classes. My phone keeps going. I have to keep redoing my screen. Okay. Awesome. Now, I'm going to start the reading in a moment. I do have one explanation about the reading, which is that there are certain terms that online censorship doesn't like. And I use a lot of those terms in the book because of the topic of the book. And so I'm going to take a page from TikTok and use the Yiddish prefix. That's like exactly sh or shma, like as in shlemiel, shlemazel, the prefix sh, to kind of evade some of those censorship bots here online. So, it's gonna sound a little bit awkward, but it'll probably also be funny too. Without further ado, I'm reading from an early chapter in the book. I don't think it needs any contextual explanation. I think it'll be obvious from the reading. The chapter is currently called "Let's Absolutely Not Talk About Schmecks at All, Ever." And it begins with a quote from a British philosopher I love very much. His name is Alain de Botton. He has a French name, but he's a British guy. But his books are wonderful. It's D-E separate word B-O-T-T-O-N, de Botton. Just some of the best books you'll ever read. And his quote says thus: "We were bothered by schmecks because it is a fundamentally disruptive, overwhelming, and demented force, strongly at odds with the majority of our ambitions, and all but incapable of being discreetly integrated within civilized society." It should go without saying that each of us born into human form is also thrust, so to speak, unwillingly into managing the responsibilities of carrying a smexuality. One's smexuality is simply a part of our embodied inheritance and should not be viewed as deriving from sin or other archaic dogmas. It is a fact of our existence and, one way or another, very likely to be encountered along the ride of embodied life. Paradoxically, as we grow from childhood to adulthood, changing with astonishing speed along the way, schmecks can be one of the most difficult topics about which to find accurate information. I was fortunate to grow up with parents who allowed me to read widely, sampling books from the bookshelf, which included a large Merriam-Webster and a recent A to Z series of the World Book Encyclopedia, anytime I felt the inclination. I also read Judy Blume, Where Did I Come From and What's Happening to Me?, the classic 70s oeuvre of well-intended, informative books for adolescents. This was an excellent way to become informed about reproduction, as well as the particularities of menstruation and other physical manifestations of schmexual maturity. This was not, however, a great way to become informed about pleasure. I wasn't aware that anything needed to be learned. It would be automatic. It would arrive with my adult boyfriend once I reached that far off, wispily imagined land. In Judy Blume's books, only the one about the boy, called Then Again, Maybe I Won't, addressed schmexual feelings. I'm sorry, schmexual feelings at all. Why is that such a tongue twister, so to speak? However, these were cloaked in terms I didn't comprehend, the main one being getting hard. I remember asking Mom what it meant. It seemed so strange. I pictured the boy suddenly becoming rigid, frozen like a statue, perhaps with an arm outstretched, while everyone around him continued to talk and move. Was that why he was so embarrassed? She flicked her eyes away, saying, "I really don't know," in a voice pitched high for innocence. I didn't ask my friends because I wanted them to think I understood everything. If I asked my brother, he would just use it to tease me somehow. And I knew somehow, that I should not and must not ask my father. In Where Did I Come From? Desire was reserved specifically for the hand-drawn, cabbage patchy, surprisingly old-looking white man. There were no Black people or POC on any page of this illustrated series. The man wants to get very close to her. He wants to get as close to the woman as possible. He wants to put his schmeeness inside her schmagina. To be fair, this explanation does include references to tickly parts being rubbed up against each other. This tickling, the authors assure us, comes to an end when both people, somehow at exactly the same moment, feel a wonderful full-body shiver. Well, this seemed super simple and self-explanatory. It was confirmed yet again. Nothing was expected of me. There was nothing I needed to do in this equation except protect myself from getting pregnant. This hardback, large print clue to adulthood confirmed what I already believed. In Schmecks, desire would strictly emanate from and be directed by the male partner. My being Schmecksless, without schmexual understanding, imagination, or independent sensation, was not only preferred, it was the gold standard. I knew that the best kind of girl to be was a good girl, self-possessed, polite, self-deflecting, friendly, intelligent, occupied with matters of the higher chakras, never becoming mired in the messy business of appetites. The good girl had no appetite. She could be happy and satisfied, like Karen Carpenter, on bowls of salad and bottomless glasses of iced tea. Like Karen, the good girl had special talents. Her singing voice, grades in math, or verbal acumen that made her more valuable. She would never be reduced to understanding herself as merely a Schmecks object. The good girl had gifts and talents to focus on, to passionately work towards, to wrap around herself like a cloak of light. A good girl was not, and never could be, a schlut. A schlut wanted Schmecks, but a good girl did not. This unspoken message could not have been clearer. When I was 4 or 5, I had a playmate, Tyler, whom I loved dearly. When we were at his house, he regularly requested that we go into the bathroom, stand in the shower stall, and show each other our privates. Even though this activity profoundly bored me, I would go along with it so that we could get back to the playroom and continue our game. He was insatiably curious about my physiognomy, poking and prodding to identify every part. I would stand there, staring at the plastic wall beyond him, waiting. When it was my turn to play inspector, I tried to get it over with as quickly as possible. I would bend and glance at his unremarkable little boy schmeeness for a moment or two, then stand up again. I had absolutely no desire to touch or interact with this foreign organ. I wanted to get out of the bathroom and back to make-believe. Paying the price of a few minutes of pure boredom seemed like a fair enough trade. At 9, beset by long-term crushes that only dissipated during summer break, I discovered I wanted to take a leadership role. I inveigled my next-door neighbor, Matt, into acting out with me a romantic script, undoubtedly inspired by equal parts Love Boat and One Life to Live. My role was to be a lady alone in my chambers, patiently tallying up figures from some obscure, poorly imagined enterprise. Matt's role was to burst in, unannounced, overwhelmed by love and passion. He was tasked with, first, declaring his love in wildly emotional terms. Over and over, I had to coach Matt on how to burst in. "You're wildly in love with me," I would instruct. "You can't help yourself." To my annoyed disappointment, he persisted with his natural timidity. entering the room with an uncertainty that bordered on fear. Next, he was supposed to throw me down on the bed and begin to kiss me. In my mind, this was the pinnacle of the scene. Overcome by his immoderate passion, he was to kiss me into a wondrous yet vague frenzy, the way they did on TV. I wanted the vague frenzy, the destination, the place I was to be carried to. Instead, I had to hound him at every turn. Grab me! No, not like that. With both hands. Push me down on the bed. Like this! Pushing him down forcefully. Now kiss me. Hard, he tries. No! He tries again. No, not like that. He was doing it too softly. He wasn't getting carried away. What was wrong with him? I forced him to perform the scene over and over, but was never happy with the results. Passionate kissing should feel like something, shouldn't it? He spoke so weakly. I was angry. Wasn't kissing supposed to be transcendent, astonishing, a cascade of unparalleled bliss? This was the outermost limit of my imagination. I had no idea what really happened between adults, and I did not want to. But one thing I knew for sure. I did not like at all having to instruct Matt on what he was supposed to do. The end. The end of the reading and the beginning of the Q&A. So I'm going to do my best. Let's see. I still see only, I'm going to, maybe I'll pull up Facebook over here and see if I can see some, and then I'll see, oh, thanks for sharing, Bob. Okay. Do you feel like checking YouTube?
You're live on YouTube.
Okay. Are there any questions there? Maybe we don't have any questions. Do we have any questions? Wait, let me go to my page because, okay. I don't, yeah, this is weird. It did not work on Instagram. This was a worry. Yeah. Okay, here we are. Okay. I see Tim's comment. I see Catherine. I see Christine. Let me just refresh. Let me refresh. Whoops. And maybe we don't have any questions. Thanks, Marin. Bob, do you want to ask any questions? I don't know.
How do you feel about the men you dated?
How do I feel
Like
about?
Feel like you made bad choices, or
Actually, Bax asked a very, very good question. He's asking if I feel like I made bad choices with the men that I have dated. And the answer is absolutely not. I only made one bad choice when it comes to men in my life. And that is a big theme of the book. And that was my last situationship. It was not a relationship. So I do not count him with my boyfriends. He was and is a bad person. But everybody else that I dated, including and especially our Bax, is a wonderful person. And if you're watching this and you're one of my exes, or even an ex fling, I love you all. I have great love for the people that I have shared love with in this lifetime, and great respect. The people that I've dated are decent, good men, and we need more of you. Emulate my ex-boyfriends if you want to up your game. But not the situationship. Please don't emulate him. You'll find out about him in the book. Bob, I can only see four comments, and I don't know. There seems to be 11 on. Something is really weird. Oh, thank you, Beth. What prompted you reframing who you are as a sexual person, or schmexual? I'm sorry. Hopefully we don't get kicked off. Thank you, Beth. The reframing happened, I think, over a very long time, because I was not a sexual person entirely before this situationship happened. I'm sort of, giving you a little peekaboo into the storyline of the new book. But I would say that I was not fully embodied in my schmexuality until this situationship. And that situationship took me to such an extremity. I was really being manipulated by this person from moment one. But because I had been with very decent and good men before that, and because my father, my brother, are some of the best men to ever exist, I could not compute that this was happening. I could not compute that this person was manipulating me. And so I kept, privileging the evidence that countered that rather than the overwhelming evidence that suggested that he was manipulating me in a very cruel and cold way. And that caused me to really come into relationship with my sexuality on my own, because before that I had believed that it had to be outsourced to my male partner. So that's another one of the main themes of the book, is that we as women, as straight women, as straight presenting, feminine appearing women, I consider myself bisexual, but certainly I have been perceived and, have all the privileges of a straight white woman in life. And in that role, you're presumed to have no sexuality, and it is understood to be outsourced to your male partner. And I really took that on. I was like, yeah, I don't want to deal with this. Let's not deal with it. And you do it, and I won't have to do anything. And that ended me up in a place of just not having ownership, not exercising any ownership over my schmexuality. Thank you, Beth. And I see that. I know it's like, I can't, it's so funny though, but you'll get kicked off so easily, especially on TikTok. On TikTok, everybody, has to use the Yiddish prefix. Missy, thank you for your question. Do you think the TV and movie culture we grew up watching was something that may have hurt some of our expectations to relationships and schmex? I absolutely think so. I think that it often, for many of us have had this experience, especially Gen Xers, when you go back and watch, 16 Candles for some horrifying racism and sexism. You go back to some of these movies, Fast Time. I don't know. I don't want to throw Fast Times at Ridgemont High under the bus, but like a movie like Porky's. My God, that there was the women they had no self. They were just like mannequins in a movie like Porky's. And then in a movie like 16 Candles, which was one of my very favorite movies ever. Oh my God. How much did I love Jake Ryan? I would have left my whole family for Jake Ryan at a certain point. But the storyline in 16 Candles is very much of, she has no agency. Molly Ringwald has no agency. She's just sort of standing there like, oh, wow, I'm sort of a plain girl and I hope somebody notices me. And then lo and behold, because she's so humble and quiet and in the background and having no agency, and she is used as a sexual object by her friend, Anthony Michael Hall, yes, we did love Jake Ryan, but she's just projected upon. She's projected upon by Anthony Michael Hall. She's then projected upon by Jake Ryan, who's moving. Oh, I guess that was his movie name. I can't remember the actor's name. That was a one-hit wonder for sure. And it's all about the fact that he picks her. That is the destination of 16 Candles. The hot guy picks her, the wallflower girl. And that is a message that I don't want my nieces and my goddaughter growing up with. And thank God, they haven't. And parents are really doing a much better job of curating what kids are watching. I mean, a lot of the parents that I know have been very careful. And also exposing kids to different ideas and teaching kids about their bodies in a non-freaked out way. There's just like all of this freaking out when there's nothing to freak out about. There's a very simple kind of realm of information about the schmexuality of our bodies, that it is a parent's responsibility to teach, I think. And I don't know. Let me see. Let me refresh. Let me see. Okay. I don't know. Why is it not showing all of my comments? I'm just going to see. Why is it not? Okay. Maybe if I just refresh. Go to the whole, let me turn off my own. Oh, here we go. All right. Okay. I'm going to hop over quickly to YouTube and see if there's any questions over there. And I think Instagram, I might just have to, I don't think that we were able to, my channel I don't think that we were able to get on Instagram for this stream. But it is on YouTube. I am excited. I don't see any questions there. Do I have any more questions on? Okay. Does 16 candles pass the smell test? No, 16 candles does not pass the smell test for me at all. It's truly horrifying to rewatch 16 Candles. I would advise against it. So let me see. Let's see. Do I have any more questions? Is that it? Is that it for now?
What about a movie like Pretty in Pink?
Pretty in Pink, I can't.
She goes with Ducky.
Well, no, is that true? Oh, but wait, but what happened? Okay, so Bax is reminding me of Pretty in Pink. What, she ends up with the nerd, but the hot guy dumps her. Doesn't the hot guy in Pretty in Pink, doesn't the hot guy disappoint her first? Actually, then that's Andrew McCarthy.
Andrew McCarthy feels pressure from James Spader.
Andrew McCarthy feels pressure from James Spader. Bax remembers this in living detail, so maybe we can.
Well, because I was always called Ducky.
Oh, so now we learned Bax's nickname at one point was Ducky. I never knew that until this moment. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna tuck that in my back pocket. Don't tell Bax. Oh, Tim has a question. Thank you. Do you think public education could have been better at preparing me for things schmexual? Yes, I do. I went to public school, kindergarten through 8th grade. And sidebar, I just want to give all of the love and respect and props to my teachers at Whitaker Elementary, at Brunson Elementary, and at Wiley Junior High School. Even though Wiley was a terrible experience for me, those teachers were trying to do the impossible. I only remember 5th grade having one 5th grade schmex education. And it was very, I dropped my phone, Bob. Sorry. Thank you. It was very much about reproduction. Like, I knew a lot about reproduction. I knew about eggs. I knew about sperm. I knew about pregnancy. I knew, about the uterus. I knew about menstruation. But what I did not know about was pleasure, consent, exchange, queerness. These were things that simply didn't exist. And yeah, it's a tough call, Tim, I will say. I think it's a very tough call for public schools to try to take up the slack where parents have failed. Even though I do think it should happen, I think it should be team taught. No adults should be alone with children discussing obviously not your parents. I'm just saying, adults in other leadership positions in a child's life should not be one-on-one discussing pleasure and those kinds of things. It should be in a group, demystified, team taught, preferably with a queer person, a trans person in the mix, a queer person and a trans person and a non-binary person, just giving children the sense of our schmexual development and our gender development is, something that is fluid, something that is still evolving, and, having those conversations. I do think that schools could make a big difference, Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you, David. Is there a message for the men of the world you would like expressed? Yes. I hadn't thought about this at all, but Sarah, thank you for that question. This is my message. Listen. And that's it. Listen. I love that. Thank you. I love that question.
So the comments from YouTube are showing up over there.
Okay. I think, okay. Okay. Thank you, Bob. I couldn't, yeah, that's weird because I couldn't see. Oh, wait. Oh, now I see. Do we have any other questions? Ooh. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Andrea, I'm sorry. God, that was okay. I know how to pronounce your name. I have not forgotten. Yeah, not all parents are good people. Not all parents know how to raise children. That is the sad truth. Now, let me just pivot and say that is not a comment on my parents. My parents get an A+ in everything except for this. I'm saying this was basically my parents' only sort of C- or C. I should just give them a C or a C+ because they definitely provided me with information. It was just in books. And so there was a lot of missing puzzle pieces that I really didn't fit in kind of the last puzzle piece that made the whole puzzle make sense until I was in my mid-40s. And that's another reason why I wrote the book, because that story is very real. And in fact, I do want to give a shout out to a woman who was an incredibly important teacher for me and a guide and a bright light. She's no longer living. Her name was Betty Dodson, Betty Dodson, Betty Dodson. And her life's work was teaching women how to have schmorgasms. And I needed her help very badly. And she was a goddess, a beautiful person who just ran right into the face of all kinds of judgment and shaming of her when she started to do this in the late 60s in New York City. And she was also an artist, and there's many beautiful nude drawings that she has done many are schmexual, but they're presented in a very beautiful, artful context. But I just want to give a shout out to Betty because she was absolutely pivotal to me. And her website is bettydodson.com. And a book that I would recommend for anyone with a female anatomy or with a schmliterus, her book, Sex for One, was revolutionary for me. Betty Dodson, Schmex for One. Hope we don't get, I hope it's hard to remember to my my prefix, but I'm trying to see. Okay. I'm scrolling just to see if there's any new questions. No new questions. I don't see any new questions, I don't think. Bob, do you or I guess I can't give you the mic because I'm on the earbuds. I was going to hand you the mic.
For what?
Just to say if you asked if you had anything to say.
Right. No, I'm good.
Okay, y'all. Well, I'm going to recap some of the details about how to stay in touch for the folks who weren't here at the beginning. And if there are any more questions, I'll look at it again. But just to recap, the book, The Unrelenting Shitshow of My Love Life, subtitle From Good Girl to Crazy Ex to Other Women, is coming out September 3rd of this year. I'm going to go on a book tour. Yes, it is going to be cross country. Please suggest anywhere that you think I should stop along the way. I'm very wide open to ideas. If you want to stay in touch with exactly what's happening with the book, when, and get the very first live link to buying the book in September, go ahead and sign up for my mailing list at annhumphreys.org. And then I'll be, I don't send out many newsletters. Y'all who are already on the mailing list know that I send, between 3, 4, maybe 5 would be an absolute max of newsletters that I would send in a calendar year. So I'm not a spammer. I never will be, but I will be updating with the mailing list And also another point, if you're not following me on TikTok, I am trying to start this conversation over on TikTok, talking about schmecks and, everything related to, well, not really everything. I'm like saying this, it's really not everything related to schmecks, but schmexuality, let's say schmexuality. But over on TikTok, my TikTok account is at Anne of Line and Circle. So it's exactly the same as my Instagram, at Anne, ANNOFLINE ANDCIRCLE. Oh my gosh, Catlin made it. Yay. Okay, Andrea, I will answer that. Janet, the schmexual is just for the, that's just for the censors. I'm just trying to not get kicked off of Facebook. Andrea asked, how do you think women can support other women better? Now, let me be the first one to say, I think women are doing a great job of supporting women. And that's what we've always done. So I don't have a specific complaint in that regard, but I do think that one thing, this is an example of something that I hope to encourage among women or people who identify as women, or people who were born with a schmiliterus, that these conversations, I think, are going to make a real difference, not just in our lives, but, the lives of the girls and women coming behind us. And, continuing to demystify and deconstruct and step out of the role that has been projected onto us. And the role that has been projected onto us is that of an object of pleasure, that does not have their own agency. And I think these conversations themselves expand that agency in a very meaningful way. So thank you for that. And if anybody has any other ideas about how women can support women, please type it out in the comments. I'd love to read it. I am just seeing. Okay, so we've been on here about 50 minutes, and I think I reviewed everything about the book release coming up. If we don't have any more questions, I think I'm going to move towards saying adios for the time being. And of course, I'll be back, and I will be happy to do another reading. And probably this next time we'll be able to get Instagram in the mix. And maybe I'll read from a very different part of the book. We'll see. Y'all can give me your feedback here and now or later. So, okay, checking. If we don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and shut her down. But I love y'all. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching later. Thank you for watching anytime. Thank you for participating in the conversation on TikTok. TikTok is a lot of fun. If you don't have an account, you don't have to share anything. You can just be a lurker. There's lots of lurkers on TikTok, but there's a lot of great content about a lot of different things. So give it a whirl. No anxiety about being a TikTok content creator. You don't have to do that at all. Okay, Bob, do you think that's it? Yeah. Thanks, Bob. Okay, we're done here. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. And I will see you next time.